Why hello, lovely humans, Jen Foxbot here. Welcome to another edition of Math Mondays. Da 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 da, yeah! Alright, in today's exciting episode, we are going to ask the question, what are tariffs and how do they affect the economy and our wallets? Very important. So first, let's define what a tariff is. A tariff is a tax on a specific product. This tax might be imposed on an import, or things that we bring into the country to purchase. It might be a tax on an export, or things that we sell outside of the country to other countries, or it might be a tax on both of these things. So supporters of tariffs support them as a protectionist measure for national industries and workers. They're supported by people who believe that economic self-sufficiency is super important. In other words, they want to give advantages to home industries and protect against the influence of foreign competition. Tariffs may also be used to prop up what are called infant industries, or new companies that have very high startup costs and need a little bit of time to reduce their startup costs so that they can compete globally. On the other hand, opponents of tariffs are against tariffs because tariffs raise prices for consumers, which means that tariffs disproportionately benefit a small group of people while hurting the larger pool of consumers. Tariffs also reduce global trading and may result in shortages. As stated by Alan Greenspan, former chairman of the United States Federal Reserve, the result of tariffs is that, quote, the American standard of living would soon begin to stagnate and even decline as a consequence of rising prices, deteriorating product choice, and our trading partners retaliating by shutting out our job-creating exports. Oftentimes, a negative consequence of tariffs is that a foreign entity, foreign government, will impose a retaliatory tariff, which then reduces our ability to sell our goods. Another downside of tariffs is that they are very difficult to undo. Once an industry is benefiting from the tariffs, they'll fight very hard to protect their interests, which makes sense. And since consumers are the ones that bear the higher cost, it is a lot more difficult to mobilize this broader group of people unless the costs become unduly burdensome or result in severe shortages of key goods like food or clothing or fuel. So to deal with all of the mathematics, I'm actually going to break this into 3 parts. This is the intro, keep it short. And then in the next part, in the official part 1, we will examine the economic mathematics of what happens when a small country imposes a tariff on imported goods. In part 2, we will look at the economic mathematics of a large country that has more market sway, and we will see what happens when that large country imposes an imported tariff, or a tariff on imported goods. And keep in mind that tariffs are only one part of the equation when we're talking about global trading. There are many, many factors at play and a lot of smart people that are spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to quantify all of this. And there are, of course, many modes of thought. These days, tariffs are actually the lowest they've ever been. Global trading is the highest it's ever been, as is global wealth, which is a good thing. And the most significant barriers to international trade are actually important and often necessary regulations to protect things like the environment, labor, intellectual property, etc. So, all that being said, let's look at the mathematics in parts 1 and 2. Go check it out, my lovely friends. Yay!